Welcome aboard everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. We have XLM Stellar on our radar this morning here in the UK. Guys, we've done a few videos on XLM recently just really emphasising the fact that this is pretty much a sleeping giant, and I truly believe that XLM is going to be one of the powerhousing tokenomics behind its obviously Stellar Lumens Foundation that's very much incorporated in the financial world right now and very much powering a number of CBDC projects as well as other aspects of blockchain technology. So there's loads going on with XLM, and I think this has been in people's minds. I think they look too much at the price, and there's a good little kind of video snippet going out at the moment of Jeff Bezos talking about that the Amazon price fluctuates, but the fact of the matter is Amazon itself continues to improve internally and externally and all of this sort of thing. So for me, like Stellar Lumens, yeah, of course you're looking from an investment perspective, but this is why I say it's a sleeping giant, because I truly believe this is going to be absolutely phenomenal over the years to come. I mean, when people sort of ask me like what's this kind of like aiming towards maybe in like 5 years time, I kind of have in my mind that around that sort of 2024 2025 perspective we may see just over $20 kind of thing, and people might think I'm mad saying that, but I think it will be. I think as adoption kicks in, CBDC's power forwards and all the other financial aspects that Stellar are linked with, I think that's achievable. And I think that's actually probably being a bit conservative, to be honest. But I think what we'll do in the next video maybe is we'll just bring up some of our kind of price aspects for a few years time for those that are perhaps wondering like, am I jumping in too late or too early right now? Well, the actual question kind of is like, what's your strategy? And when you do your own research and when you're doing your own application of strategy, is like you deciding, what's my short-term gain target based on what I've invested in currently and when I invested, like what price points and what do I want to get to. And it's same for the long term. There's a lot of projects that I have in my portfolio that I'm looking to sell off this year or in this kind of next few months, just based on the gains that I've had, because they're great profits. And obviously if they come back down, fantastic, I might jump back in, but I'm predominantly trying to invest in some really specific kind of like top 15, 20 projects. I've got like maybe 40 so far, and it's all about sort of justifying like, well, what's the game? For me, right now, XLM, irrespective of whether you could get them at 25 cents or 37 cents, for me, I'm just accumulating them as and when I see dips, because I think this is going to be a giant in the future. And of course there will be short-term gains. The next few months are going to be absolutely phenomenal. More announcements coming, I'm sure, out of Stellar Lumens, of course. We have, I think, the project that was kind of announced sort of a few weeks back now, maybe even like a week and a half or so, the AMMs. So you've got all of those aspects of the network upgrades as well. The foundation program is building out to help generate the next kind of generation of coders and developers, and the education aspect of into these kind of projects and infrastructures. So it's very early days, guys, and I just want to emphasize this, because people are like, it's not moving, it's nowhere near its previous. I mean, the previous all-time high I think was like around 79 cents, right? You see on the screen here, it was around about 79.70. I think that's not majorly accurate, it's just like pretty much bang on around that area. So we've got a bit of movement to go, and we're kind of almost around halfway point really with that. But there's some key strategic elements that we want to look at short term. First of all, I've seen a few videos, research videos on multiple channels of where we're trying to achieve for XLM in this year. I kind of concur with most of them, to be honest. I do generally think that we could get well over that $2 mark, certainly, in the coming months. That's just an opinion of mine, and also I think kind of concur. I think somewhere out there was saying like $5-10. I think that's quite far-fetched, but we'll see. Anything is possible, of course, but I think like $2 is certainly as achievement minimally. But for now, we're looking at some key areas here. So if you remember, we drew in some key levels of resistance and support through historic information and data of the chart. We kind of passed the majority of those lower regions. I've still got this potential buy opportunity sat here, which we did hit a few days ago anyway, if you're looking to accumulate, but I'm keeping it there just in case, because it is a good reference point, this kind of support area. In fact, what I might do now that that's kind of cleared is move it up to this section around here. So just below that 34 35 cent mark, but I've put the top end, actually, to be fair, just over that, maybe around that sort of 35.5, and I'll put the lower region down here at around that 34 mark, just so you get kind of like both wick sides. But of course the bullish momentum is kicking in finally for Stellar. The actual volume of buy-ins are increasing, as you can see on the histogram, just about down here in this middle section. So this gap is slightly widening, which is really good, but we have seen that before a bit of a support correction aspect that we saw a few days ago. But you know, it's going in the right direction. I think the key areas for me right now, first of all, on the macro fib retracement levels around that 38 cent mark, which we tried to attack today. So we had a previous high today of 38.15. We couldn't quite get the close over that mark. So I think it's going to maybe take 2 or 3 attempts for that. But as long as we can try and bounce back off this level here at 36, which again could be an opportunity if you're looking to try and make some kind of aspect of saving. But I think, like I said, as Stellar keeps promoting itself and the adoption keeps kicking in, the projects keep coming in and out of the roadmap and everything, we should be on our way up more and more now. And there's a couple of other areas of interest here. I've put this previous line up, this section of previous resistance that we will probably see around that 42-43 cent mark when we get there. As you can see in the past, we've had the tip off down here, couldn't get past it at all, and of course Bitcoin took over. But also from historic data, back here you can see a lot of movement and tracking around this particular area between that 33 and 34 cent mark. So once we get to that area, that could be a potential opportunity for some selling markets. Now, of course, the momentum may push us through that, but I just anticipate, and in fact what I'll do is I'll draw that in right now so we have a reminder for the next video. I'm looking at this kind of like previous resistance level. I would say like we'll probably have some at 40 cents anyway, but what I'm going to do is just tail off here that if we get to 39, we're probably going to see quite a bit of fluctuation. So I'll just put a little marker there, and I'm also going to put one here around this 42-43 mark, just covering that area here, because I do think that's going to be of interest as we tail up, which I do think we will be doing now. So I do anticipate we'll probably have a bit of a tidy up down here before a push up over the next couple of weeks, and maybe by November we might be up here around this 42 cent mark. So do anticipate a bit of not volatility, but certainly resistance there, and that's normal, that's healthy. And then we'll hopefully try and get a couple closes over that mark, and start pushing ourselves up to that 46-47 cent level, which I do anticipate hopefully by November getting to that, certainly at least by mid-November. I think we've got a bit of time to do that, and if you look at the structure of how this chart may work, it does kind of tail in with what we're saying here in that second week of November, trying to be up here. So when people say, is it too late, too early to get into Stellar, I think, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video of this chart analysis, is like, it's down to your strategy. What's your perception in your mind? Like, are you looking to sell in a few months' time? If so, you're probably still going to get some good gains out of this. You know, good maybe 3 or 4 times or whatever. But if you're long term, it's just maybe the accumulation pattern of buying the dips, or if you're trading and doing it that way, fine. Everyone's got their own strategy, right? For the future, for me, I'm holding these in my ledger. I'm buying as and when I can, and I will continue to do so for the next couple of years. Maybe when it starts getting over that 50 cent level, I may start reducing my intake. You know, as I've got quite a good healthy bag already personally, and I know Steve has as well. So you know, it's just put your mind at ease and stop stressing about, is it too early, too late? Think about your strategy and what you're trying to achieve. Okay, no, there is no right or wrong answer really. It's down to you as a personal individual what you're trying to achieve. So all we can do is really kind of give some guidance as what we're doing personally and what has been working in the past, as you've seen in a multitude of our videos now in terms of buying and selling opportunities. And that's not to say it's gospel or anything like that. It's just what we're doing, and it is working thus far in terms of a strategy. But more importantly, I want you guys to emphasize, what is this project? Why is it so powerful? Why is it so big? You can check out our intro videos and things like that. Hopefully they'll help. And do more extensive research. Check out other channels, see what they're doing and saying. But what we do love here is sharing ideas, sharing the thought process behind things, and why we think things are going to get to a certain level, and this, that, and the other. So hopefully you're enjoying that aspect. The RSI guys down here, 62, so there's plenty of room in the tank. We are in that kind of bullish momentum. We're kind of stuck at 50 anymore, where we're sort of bouncing up and down, deciding what we're doing with Stellar. we're moving upwards, guys. So I think these are achievable in the next few weeks. To be honest, we'll see how it goes. We're 9% up on the week, 13% up on the month, and the 3 months in the year to date looking very strong as well. The 6 months still intakes that drop we had back around sort of May, June time, the tail off of that. So that's kind of understandable. But once those months pass out of this period, I think we're going to see some really good green numbers here over the next month or so across the board. And that's going to take us nice and healthily as a foundation into that sort of November, December mark, and arguably into early next year, where we're going to see some fantastic moves from Stellar, as well as many other projects out there as well. So guys, let us know in the comments below if you're holding XLM Stellar, what you think of the project. Any bits of news that you have found in the last couple of weeks, let us know, and we will try and mention those as well in the next video, as well as our own research, of course. So guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next Stellar update. Thank you and goodbye.